All right, everybody. What is up? We're back for another episode of Dave's R&R Rambles and Reviews with your host here, Dave, giving you another Thursday episode, hoping to get back in the swings of things. This one is going to be holiday centric because we're going to do two things in this episode. I'm going to give you a quick review of the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, and I'm going to give you one of my personal most underrated Christmas movies. It's one that kind of teeters along in every list. I think it underperforms in every list it's in. But we're going to start with our review of the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. This is about 45 minutes long and came out about a month ago at this point. I finally got to watch it. Started my holiday watch through of all the movies and everything, and this is one last piece of Guardians of the Galaxy content before we get the third one, the finale of James Gunn's trilogy. And this is just a little special along the way, and it has James Gunn all over it. It has Guardians of the Galaxy all over it. It fits perfectly in the universe while keeping the holiday theme. The plot mainly revolves around Drax and Mantis going to Earth to give Star-Lord Peter Quill the present of Kevin Bacon for Christmas. Mantis, it turns out, is Quill's half sister. That's kind of something that's thrown in this special we have here. She kind of feels bad because she doesn't think Peter is in the holiday spirit. So they go there to kidnap Kevin Bacon since they think it's a proper present since they aren't really as familiar with the Christmas theme and everything. So a lot of hijinks ensue with them on Earth, including taking pictures. You know, people think they're kind of like part of the act on the side of the road with all the costumes and everything, to them going to the bar, to them actually going to kidnap Kevin Bacon. It's great fun, it's funny, it's very Christmas themed. It's just perfect. That's one of the best things I've seen in a while out of new releases for Christmas movies, TV shows, specials, everything along those lines. They just did it perfectly. The songs in the movie are hilarious. The whole Kevin Bacon exchange is hilarious. And when they finally bring him to Peter Quill reacts like any human being would. In shock, confused, can't believe that they kidnapped him to bring them as a present. But it ends, with Kevin Bacon being told about how much Quill has done for the universe, and then Kevin Bacon performs a song as well. So the songs in the movie were definitely fun. This holiday special, and it easily gets a boost because it is a holiday special. I'm a sucker for movies and specials like that. It gets an 8.5 in my book. It's perfect for the holidays. Definitely give it a watch if you have Disney Plus. Give it a stream this year. It's great, and it kind of has a setup for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. You learn that information about Mantis. It gets you ready. It's kind of somber in a weird way. There's nothing somber about it, but just watching it, knowing that next year is going to be our final time seeing this crew together. It's kind of sad in that way, but we know James Gunn's absolutely going to kill it in the third one before heading to the DC universe to kind of change their direction, which that's a whole nother story, maybe a whole nother podcast down the line. But the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, 8.5 out of 10, highly recommend for the holiday season. And that leads to our second part of the podcast here. One of my personal most underrated Christmas movies of all time. This one came out a while ago, about between 10-15 years ago. Four Christmases, starring Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon. This one, it didn't get a lot of love in the box office. It made double the budget. Kind of decent for a comedy movie there. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't have a lot of love on there. It has a 25% at this time, I believe. And anytime you look at best Christmas movies, it usually falls within the 40 to 50 range, I'd say. Sometimes you see it in the 30s, maybe the 20s, but it's always very low on the list. And this is a movie I make sure to watch every Christmas season. I just get a great laughs out of this the whole time. I don't want to spoil too much if people haven't seen it, but I'm sure you have at this point if you're going to watch Christmas movies. But essentially, they have to go to both of their mother's and father's side in the movie for completely different crazy scenarios along the way. Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon absolutely kill it in their roles. There's a scene where Vince Vaughn and Reese have to act out a nativity scene on stage, and Vince Vaughn just completely takes over the performance, and it's one of my favorite moments in any Christmas movie. It's just hilarious hijinks along the way. Now, I'm not going to say this is, even like a top 3, top 5. Maybe it borders my top 10. It's not the best Christmas movie ever. It kind of does stutter towards the end, I feel like. But this one is one I make sure to watch every year. I highly recommend it. It's on HBO Max if you have that service, so give it a check. It might be on different services, but that's where I watched it. But I highly recommend checking out Four Christmases if you haven't already for your holiday viewing experience. It has a lot of old faces in it too. You probably recognize from other movies, which is kind of funny about any comedy movie back then. It seems like they had a lot of more star-studded cast than comedies do these days. But that's a whole nother story as well. That movie, I probably give it like a 7.75 out of 10. So it's a very solid movie in my eyes, one I check out every year, so give it a shot. Guardians Holiday Special is a little better on my rating scale, but that's going to be an every year watch starting this year too, since it just came out. So that's it for my Christmas kind of centric episode here. We gave you our Guardians Holiday Special review, and I let you know Four Christmases is one of the most underrated Christmas movies out there, so give that one a listen, or a watch I should say. And thanks for tuning in. I know we've kind of been stuttering along the way here. The podcast has kind of been on and off, but I'm hoping to have more consistency, starting with the new year coming up very, very soon. We're going to have a lot more going on socials, so check out Dave's R&R on Twitter and Instagram. And the first big thing I'm going to start doing is Wrestling Wednesdays. That's coming very soon. Every Wednesday, we're going to have a wheel decide what wrestling match I watch, and I'll be giving it a rating on a 10-point scale. This can go from throwbacks to newer matches. It's going to go all over the board. It's going to be a bunch of different matches over the course of wrestling history. Hopefully we can start doing that more with like food, movies, and music as well. But we're going to start with Wrestling Wednesday. So definitely check that out on the socials. We'll have a couple more episodes coming out this year, hopefully. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting along the way. Have a great holiday season.